Hi everybody, this is Sarika Chaturvedi, and you're watching my channel Training with Sarika. First of all, I would like to thank you all for liking my videos, subscribing to my channel, and sending me so many mails asking me to put videos on particular topics also. I've had teachers asking different queries, different questions regarding the problems that they keep facing on an everyday basis in the school, in the class, related to children and handling of children. Now, there is a particular question which has been asked several times by different teachers from different states and different countries also. The most common question which I've been getting on my mail is, ma'am, could you please tell us or put a video on how to deal with a difficult child in the class, which is the most difficult task for us as teachers or as facilitators. Now, there was one relative question to this. Why do children throw tantrums in the class? Now, I guess both the questions, how to deal with a difficult child and why do children throw tantrums, are somewhere connected or related to each other. So, dear teachers, first of all, I would like to tell you, for any problem that you face, there has to be a particular cause for it, and then once we are clear with the cause or the causes, then we can go into the solutions for the problem. So I would like to highlight the causes for this problem. Now, the causes are basically, what are the reasons for a child to behave in a typical manner? There can be n number of reasons for a child to behave in a typical manner. See, it is very easy for us as facilitators or teachers to just scold them, just, show our anger on them. But do we really get down to the part to know what the child is really facing and what is the kind of atmosphere he's coming from? Now, when I talk about atmosphere, I talk about the family background. Now, we need to speak to the parents if we find the child is not concentrating, not sitting in one position, showing to be very restless. Then these are the basically alarming signs for us to know about his family background, and then we should try to find out like what is the kind of family background the child is coming from and speak to the parents related to the problem. Disturbed family background means the parents are working, nobody is there to look after the child, or the parents are not getting along with each other well, so the child is lonely at all times at home. He doesn't get proper love and care as per his demands. Or there can be other reason, there can be financial distress also. Although if the parents are together, they care for each other, but there can be other financial stress or anything that is disturbing the family. So we need to find out what kind of the family background the child is coming from. Secondly, attention deficit disorder. There are many children who actually demand attention, maybe from you as teachers or facilitators or from parents. Now, when I say they demand attention, like we all think, okay, I'm a parent. I, of course, take care of my child. I love my child. I mean, then where am I lacking? Where is the attention deficit disorder coming in my child? No, it is not sufficient. The love or the care that we show to the child, maybe it is not just enough for the child. So we need to actually find out, is it really, are we really giving them enough time and enough attention as per their demands? Maybe the child would demand you to play something with him, or maybe, simple just sit with crayons and a coloring book and color one page and let the child color the other page. Maybe the child would demand this. Maybe the child would demand you to just play a board game or just to, just put a jigsaw puzzle together. It can be anything, or maybe simple, just sit and put the blocks, stack them together, stack the rings together. And we might find it boring, but the child finds happiness in this. So, as teachers, as parents, please try to find out if this is one of the problems the child is facing, and that is why the child is not finding that kind of attention in the school or at home also. Now, third, we should see if he is too much pampered. See, there are certain children who are very much pampered. If, of course, we love our child, but loving our child is different, caring for our child is different, looking after them is different, but pampering or over pampering is totally different. So we should find out if the child is too much pampered, maybe if the grandparents are at home, or is it a big joint family, or the parents themselves, if they are busy themselves and they just bring things together and they are pampering him or her with too many material things, that can be also a reason for a child to behave in a typical manner. Then, um disliking the teacher. This is one of the points which I feel is very important, but we as teachers, we never think about it. We feel, okay, I'm the best, so there is no point for a child to dislike me. No, but it is not like that, dear teachers. There are certain children who find a mother in you, and secondly, there are certain children, they might not like you at all, or maybe they might not like the way you speak to them, they might just not like your body language. So there are many ways a child can dislike the teacher. And again, here, maybe the child is comfortable at home, the child is pretty normal at home, but when he comes to his school or her school, the child seems to be a little restless or unhappy, because the child inside knows that I have to again face the same teacher, I have to be with the same teacher for say good 3 to 4 hours. So we need to find out if we are going wrong anywhere. So there is nothing wrong in this, dear teachers. Please don't take it very personally. But yes, this is one of the points which the teachers actually neglect, but can be one of the important causes of a child to behave in a typical manner. Now, there can be a problem with peers also. Yes, this is one of the common problems that we all see. Peers may be disturbing, they maybe see children are of different natures, so we really need to find out if the child is having any problem with his friends, or if the child is sitting with a particular gender friend, maybe a female, maybe the child is uncomfortable sitting with a female, or if the female child is sitting with a male. These can be the disturbing factors for the child also, or maybe the other child is a little of the bullying nature, the child might not like it, or maybe there is a fear in his mind regarding it. So we need to find out about his relationship with his peers also, and what kind of or on a scale of 10, if we talk about how many friends are there and what is his general social relationship with his peers. Then next is the school environment. If it is not friendly, if it is too much disciplined, see, I won't say that a school should not be disciplined, or the school definitely cannot run without discipline and rules. But yes, we should let our children free in the school, let them have a feel of a carefree life, of a a big playground. Don't make the children sit in the class. Don't make them really bend down into the books and then pass your 3 to 4 hours doing this, writing this, coloring. No. Please take them out under the open sky. Give them open classes. Take them, sit in a circle. Give them the circle time also. Do maximum activities in a circle, which I'm sure the children love the most. They love to be out in the open. They don't like to be, just clustered in a class of, say, 15 to 20 children together. And they won't like it, and they don't. So please take them out under the open sky and give them maximum of knowledge with the help of nature around. So these were some of the causes, dear teachers. Now, what I want you to do is just go through the causes and ask yourself, if you are facing such a problem, are these causes relating to you or your problems? Now, after the causes are done and we have actually jotted down, we would like to come to the solution now. See, the first solution and the most easy one is talk to the parents. Call them over, speak to them, ask them the behavior of the child at home, number of members at home, his relationship with each member at home, and certain things. Maybe food, what kind of food he likes, what is he fond of, is he really cranky at home and the same at school, or is he comfortable at home and only cranky in school? So you need to find out, and this can be done only after talking to the parents. Keep observing the child's behavior. Yes, please, if you find a disturbed child in your class, try to observe the child's behavior, and with, maybe, as I said earlier, maybe he is comfortable with another teacher more than you. So try to find out what is it that the teacher is doing, or the way the teacher speaks to the child, or maybe just a cuddle or a hug that would make the child comfortable. So please observe the child's behavior, and when is the child happy, and what are the ways which make the child happy. You need to speak to the child also. So you talk to the child, ask him general questions. Don't let the fear set in his or her mind. Speak to the child openly and try to find out what is it that the child is disturbed about. Do what the child finds happiness in. If the child doesn't want to sit and write, please do not force the child to do that. Ask the child to do something else. Maybe let the other children do your coursework, but let this child maybe just sit on a mat and play with toys, do the coloring, putting up the blocks, or whatever the child is interested in. Or you can just leave the child with the caretaker outside and let the child play on the swings and all in the open environment, if the child is happy with this. Now, when you plan a parent-teacher meet with the child, you need to speak to them about certain things, but definitely not in front of the child. Today, the children are really smart and they understand each and everything. So, what I would suggest is plan a parent-teacher meeting with the child, but try to bring out all the positive points in front of the parents and the child. And once the child is out with the caretaker or with the other children in the field, then you can actually discuss the main problem what you are facing. And if the parents are also facing, both of you as parent teacher associates, you can come down to a common solution. The most important solution that I would talk about is the mother's role. Yes, you need to find out how much time is the mother giving to the child at home. Now, if the mother is working, as most of the mothers are today, so what are her timings? Then after coming back from work, how much time does she give to the child? Or does she just come, give the food, or maybe the caretaker is taking care, and by the time the mother is at home, the child is already fallen asleep? Is this the situation at home? Or the mother is definitely working hard to spend an hour or so with the child? So, we need to find out what is exactly the mother's role, or rather the mother-child relationship, at home, which would actually reflect the same with the teachers. So, mother's role is very important, and these were the few solutions, dear teachers, that I could think of. And let me know if you are satisfied with this video, the causes and the solutions of the problem. And kindly subscribe to my channel, like my video, and you can mail me at chaturvedisarika6@gmail.com. Keep sending me questions, keep sending me topics on which you would like to know more about, or any of the things that you are finding difficult. I would be pleased to help you out this way. Thank you so much, dear teachers and facilitators. Thank you.